Hey everyone, this is Andrew, and we're going to be going through the Week 2 Prove assignment for cse341. So it says your assignment for this week will be to build an Express app that handles 2 routes. This assignment's really similar to the Week 1 proof, so if you were able to do that, you shouldn't have too much trouble with this. So the first step, it says use get to display a page with inputs for a user to input a book and a summary. So let's do that first. So if we go to VS Code, we'll first set up our routes for pr02. We'll need Express, and our router. And then make sure that we export that. And it said we need a get route. And we're going to render a page here, but we'll go and make the EJS file so we have a page to render. And then in index.js, we can make sure that we add our pr02 routes. So I'm just going to copy this line down and change it to 2. Then I'll do the same thing here. Okay, so our pr02 routes should be hooked up now. So we need a page with 2 inputs. I'm just going to grab the template from one of the team activities. So we're going to need a form. We'll make it a post form. We're going to go to our pr02 routes. So we need 2 inputs in this form. So we're going to have a book and a summary. So we'll have a text input for our book title. I'm going to name it title. Give it an ID of title. And then for our summary, we'll use a text area and call it, not title, call it summary. And then we need a submit button. So now, if we start our server with npm start, it says we're running on port 5000. So if we go to localhost 5000, go to prove assignments, go to /pr02, we should see our form, except we're not rendering it yet, so let's render our form. So we need res.render, give it the file to render, so this pages /pr02, and then the data we want to render. So we have a title, and a path. And now we should see our form. So we have a book title and a book summary. Right now it won't go anywhere when we submit it, so let's look back at the instructions. So using a form and post, submit the inputs to a display page that looks nice and shows the title and summary back to the user. And it says to use EJS, so we need to use post in our form. So we need a post route to handle those inputs and display them back, and this is why it's a lot like the week 1 prove assignment. So here you can create a second DJS file if you want to and have a separate page to display those inputs. I am just going to display them on the same page where we have our form, just below our form. So we can add .post. This is router.post. Request, response, and next. And we're going to need two things from our rec.body. So we're going to do const title equals rec.body.title. Then I'm just going to copy this down and change it to summary. So now we'll have our title and our summary. Rest.render the same page, pr02, and then I'm going to copy the title and the path from up here. And then we'll also pass our book and summary. Yep. And if the key and value have the same name, you don't need the colon. You don't need to put it twice. So this is the same as if we do this. So I'm just going to leave that out. So now I'll have a book and a summary that we need to display in EJS. So let's add it here too. So in our pr02.ejs, let's put a line between it, and then display the inputs. So you want the EJS tags with the equal sign because we're displaying a variable. So we're going to say book and then summary. So let's see if that works. If we go to our pr02, we enter book title, book summary, and submit that form. We should come back here and we can see our title and our summary displayed back to the user. And that, I believe, is all there is to this assignment. While not required, a way to go above and beyond to reach full credit would be to save multiple user entries. If you want to figure out how to do that, there are a few different ways to do it. You could save them in a file or use a local variable. One thing you could do is in your JavaScript, just have a variable books equals an array. And you could have an array of objects that you store, so whenever you get a new book, you could do books.push to add to the array, and we will add an object with our title and our summary. So then you'll have a list of titles and summaries. Then we'll send books to the EJS instead of a single title and summary. So now we'll have this list of books with titles and summaries, and we need to change that in our EJS. So now in our EJS tags we can have a for loop. So for const book of books close that. And we can add book.title. And book.summary. And I'll move this HR tag down into the for loop. So now we should have a book title and a book summary for each book that we have in that array of books. So let's see if that works. We reload the page. And submit. There's one book. And there's another book. So there are other ways to do this, but this is just one simple way to go from storing one book to storing multiple books and displaying them back to the user. And that is assignment 2.